Hey, what's happening, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday, right around noon. Whoa. Right around noon. In my last video, I talked about storing food. A lot of people talk about storing rice and beans and lentils and other dry goods. So today I'm going to show you what I do or how I do it. And I'm sure if you've looked this up, you've seen plenty of um, people talking about storing food and how they do it and things like that. So uh, I figured I'd do a video on it too. Not that it's really any different than anybody else, but yeah, just wanted to get one on my channel. So I got two 5-gallon buckets today. I have two 5-gallon Mylar bags to go along with two oxygen absorbers that we'll use later. And then here I have 60 pounds of rice. This stuff here you can get at Walmart or Sam's Club, Costco. I'm sure they all got it, whatever. And then I got two bags of 5-pound rice that I got on sale a couple weeks ago. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to store 60 pounds of rice in these two 5-gallon buckets. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll take these Mylar bags. So these bags here, 5-gallon Mylar bags, you can get them on Amazon. They have a zip close, or kind of like the sandwich bags. And then later on, if you want to use them, you can see that you can tear it open here and still be able to close it up later on. So this will probably get a little loud once in a while with the microphone with these bags, but so we're just going to push the Mylar bag down inside. Apologize for the noise and that would get loud, but I'll try and edit it so it's not so loud. Normally my son helps me out with these, but yeah, we're just going to do it today. All right, so we got our two 5-gallon buckets, two 5-gallon Mylar bags. So what you'll normally hear is that these 5-gallon buckets, if you were just to put food in here, it's about 33 pounds of rice or beans or whatever. Now, understand that the bigger you get of whatever your item is, right? Rice is very small, beans are pretty small, but there's a lot of gaps and air in between everything. So that may vary depending on what you're doing. So rice, if you just put it in the bucket, about 33 pounds, but because of the Mylar bags, I've noticed that it won't fill up the entire bucket just because of the way that these are shaped. So I get about 25-ish pounds of rice into one of these bags, maybe 28, somewhere in there. So hopefully we'll get all 60 pounds of rice in this thing. We'll see what happens. All right, so we have our 5-gallon buckets, 5-gallon Mylar bags. And so all we're going to do now is we're going to cut this open. And I'm doing it here in the kitchen. Sometimes it gets a little messy. Sometimes some of the rice falls on the floor. So if you're going to do it in the living room or the carpet or whatever, just be ready to vacuum up or use something to pick up the rice. So I'll try and pull this string first. See if that works. Probably not. I'm not too worried about it because we're going to use the whole bag. I'm just going to cut that, and I'm just going to cut a very small hole, right? Not very big, maybe a quarter of the way across the top of the bag, because I want to be able to have control of what I'm pouring here. So I'm going to take this, and this bag here is 50 pounds. because the hole is quite small, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I would rather have total control over it and not make a mess. All right, I'm getting towards the top. Yep, there we go, making a mess. So we got about close to half the bag, but go in, I'm going to shake this around. It's going to be loud. That way it kind of settles everything. And we still got plenty of room. Give me a minute. Let me clean up what I got here a little bit. Watch out, boys. Watch out, boys. All right, I talked in my last video here about keeping your work area clean. And of course, I got the pooches walking around here, so I don't want them tracking this rice all over the place. What are you doing, dude? Huh? Come on. Out. Good boy. All right, so we're going to continue to All right, I think we're going to be good here. Okay, so here we are, right at the top. It's a little lower than the top of the bucket is going to be, but I want to give a little bit of space because you have to fold this down in, and yeah. So, all right, so we're going to continue, and we want to fill up the second bag now. You see that we're really about 3/4 of the way down. So this is working out good. Remember, it's nice to have control of the bag while you're doing this, and control of the flow of whatever you're dropping in. I think these bags of rice, if I remember right, they're about $25 for 50 pounds of rice. $30, 28 maybe, something like that. So look around, depends on where you get them. Again, Walmart, Costco, Sam's, you can get them at all those places. So 50 bags, or 50 pounds of rice. And I think this might work out just perfect. All right, so in mixing and matching, I don't know, I didn't look it up or anything like that, but that's one brand, and then here's another brand. I don't know, whatever. When I'm getting ready to eat it, rice is going to be rice. If I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments below. All right, so these are 5-pound bags of rice. I want to say I got these for like $2.50, something like that at Kroger, which I'm not going to be shopping at much anymore. If you've read some of the latest news on Kroger. So you get some that just gets caught in the flaps and inside the bag and everything else. So make sure you check everything so you don't make a mess. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. All right. Last bag. All right. So I'm getting ready to throw in this last bag of rice. Once again, you'll have to move the bag around a little bit. Get all the rice out of the nooks and crannies inside the bag. Okay, so works out good. All right, so 2 5-gallon buckets, 5-gallon Mylar bags, and 60 pounds of rice. And we're going to get ready to close these up. All right, so what you want to do, I'm going to move this one back to the side first. What you want to do is grab a piece of wood. Okay, and this is going to help you. So what you want to do is you want to close this thing most of the way, but you got to leave some open at the end. You got to leave 3 or 4 inches open at the end. And here in a minute, I'll explain why. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this piece of wood and I'm going to lay the top of the bag over it. Okay. And hopefully this is ready to go. Iron. Okay. Get your iron hot and you're going to iron the top of the bag to seal it. Okay. It's going to take a little bit. If it's not too hot, you don't want it real hot because you don't want anything melting, right? But you want it warm enough to where it's going to seal the top of this bag together. And we're getting there. Okay, so you just want to go nice and slow. Make sure you seal everything. Pick up a little bit once in a while. You don't want anything melting. You just want it warm enough so that the top of the bag seals together. Okay, and I think we're pretty good for that for now. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to get some of this air out of here. It's already in there. All right, and then what we're going to do, we have oxygen absorbers, right? So you want to drop these oxygen absorbers in there because it'll suck most of the oxygen out of there. Because in these, rice and things like that, you do got probably little pests in there, which is normal. So you probably got some pests in there. And what this will do, it'll take all the oxygen out of the bag and not only save your food from going bad, but it'll kill all the little pests in there too. Okay, so we're going to drop this in. Some people put 1, some people put 2. It just depends, I guess, on what you want to do. We're going to seal up the rest of the bag. Make sure you get as much of the air out of there as possible. So that way it's less work for your oxygen absorber. Okay. Piece of wood back up. Iron back up. Okay, I'm gonna make one other run over this other piece that I already did, just to ensure. Okay, and we're all set. So now I'm gonna let that cool off a little bit. Okay, and we'll do a second bucket. Remember, you want to close it most of the way, but not all the way. All right, make sure it's nice and zipped and sealed. So, I mean, if you think about it, depending on how big your family is, how long could it take you to eat 60 pounds of rice? May take a while. I mean, you don't want to eat rice plain. That's why you also store beans and lentils and other things, flour and sugar maybe. Think about that. Because that way you can kind of mix some things up a little bit, get some different flavors. Because you just don't want to eat rice by itself all the damn time. Unless you really like it, there's nothing wrong with it. I may want a little flavor though, so we do have some other things stored away. All right. Second bag, iron the top. All right. So most of the way on that one. I'm going to go in, drop our oxygen absorber in. Okay, just drop it right in there. Seal the bag up the rest of the way. Okay, make sure everything's sealed all the way back and down. Actually, I got to open it up again because I didn't take most of the air out. So I'm going to open this corner, and we want to get most of that air out. All right, we're good with that. You see it's already pretty tight. All right, and this won't hurt your iron. I mean, it's not, as long as it doesn't melt, right? If you don't have it too hot, your iron will be just fine. I've seen people use hair straighteners. If you have an extra hair straightener laying around, you can use one of those. This is just one way to do it. This is the most popular kind of way that I've seen people do it. Okay, there we go. We're all set. All right, we're going to fold those in. We have tops. I like taking these stickers off the top too. I don't want those stickers on the top. As far as 5-gallon buckets go, they're getting pretty spendy. I'm pretty much done shopping at Lowe's as well, if you've kind of seen their latest press releases. But I mean, if you got like a restaurant close by, sometimes they got a whole bunch of 5-gallon buckets out back because that's how they get their oils and things like that. You might be able to get them for free. All right, you just got to make sure that you get the top, the lids. Okay. All right, same thing here. Now you see I still have a little bit of space at the top, right? Maybe an inch at the top that's open, which, okay, whatever. Good. I probably should have done this beforehand, but whatever. And for the most part, these codes, UPC codes, come right off pretty easy. All right, so now you got your two buckets. And what I like to do, duct tape. This is going to get a little loud too, but I'm going to go around this thing twice. Once at the very kind of top of the bucket, overlapping the lid a little bit. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll get the job done. And this, what I like to do this, and I've seen other people do it too, it just kind of helps seal it a little bit more. Helps make sure that the top doesn't come off. Okay, so that's the first time around the top. I'm going to seal all that down all the way around. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll come down a little bit towards the bottom of the layer that you just made. And seal that some more. Okay. Okay, so that's the first bucket. We're good. Again, this tape job up on the top is not going to be pretty, right? Just kind of make sure you can seal it down as much as possible. Make sure it's nice and tight. Get all the air out of there. Okay, same thing, second bucket. I do apologize for all the loud noises. I'm sure it's pretty loud. We'll see how it sounds. I'll see if I can edit the volume a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll put a warning at the very beginning of the video. Just watch your volume. Now, for the most part, we're all good here. Flies. The flies like to follow the dogs back in the house. I got one of those doggy doors on my sliding door. And the flies love to follow the dogs back in. All right, last thing. Got to label it. All right, so these are just the labels that I use. You can label it. I label it on the top. I probably should label them on the sides too, and eventually I probably will. That way you can kind of see from the side what everything is. Okay. This is, what is today? 28th? I think it's the 28th. Got to date it. Okay. 8/28/24 and rice. Really all you need to put on there. And what I'll also do after I'm done with this is I'm going to put some boxing tape, just a clear tape over this label so it doesn't get worn out and scratched up and from moving the buckets around. Right, I have some more buckets of rice. So if we get into using it, you want to use your oldest buckets first, and make sure you kind of rotate them through. If you just happen to use them, or if you want to use them just because they've been bucketed up for a couple of years or whatever the case may be, that's fine. Just take your oldest one first. Yeah, and that's it. So 60 pounds of rice, 2 5-gallon buckets. That's the way you do it. If you have any comments, let me know. If you have any ideas, let me know. Any questions or whatever, just down in the comments below. Appreciate you watching by. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know every time we get put a new video out. Appreciate you guys following. Appreciate you watching. Make a great rest of your week. Make a great weekend. And be good to each other.